Are you freaked out by all the weird screaming in the caves?
Oh, that's me. Just a little light entertainment and well-being work. Primal screaming is very therapeutic. Try it.
No thanks.
Suit yourself.
What did this used to be?
That's the cover of a book I was reading. At the End of the Plank.
Tell me more about At the End of the Plank.
It's a solid, if somewhat predictable story about a roguish pirate and a doomed romance with a woman of station. I ate the pages long ago, but before my lamp ran out, I memorized quite a bit of it. Want to hear a quote?
Sure.
Reginald unfurled the perfumed missive and slid his eyes along it. Oh, my lovely privateer, lend me your most private ear. And so it continued saucily. My sweetest lily pad, Reginald harked, won't you come on down to my brigantine? Throwing her hand to her head, Cornelia replied, Alas, you know I cannot leave my station. Reginald swooped and swirled with his ink pen. From my crow's nest, I look upon your alabaster parapets, which recline atop your municipal office. Cornelia's betrothed was a vile, vicious, and reviled little lord of the moniker Laszlo Smirk. He sneered. Remember, my dear, whose vote you'll require to retain your title and office. They both paused. Mine, he then said. Day and night at sea, Reginald sent homing pigeons, praying that one would return with a note from his beloved, or a lacy kerchief, or a bit of her hair, etc. But they really weren't seabirds at all. Reginald and Cornelia leaned in close, hidden among her begonias. We mustn't, she whispered. We oughtn't, he agreed. We dursn't, they cried in unison. His crew danced merrily, but Reginald moped. Every wheeze of the concertina only reminded him of his missing lover's voice. All day she sighed at her desk and stamped the municipal envelopes to the rhythm of her in-love heart. But why must you go when you know I cannot follow, she pled. He orated, You know I promised my father I'd catch the great turquoise narwhal. At this she yelped, Oh, cursed narwhal! Spotting her lover's ship on the horizon, Cornelia laughed and cried at the same time. Little did she know that Laszlo and his goons had set their trap down by the port. You'll answer for your crimes, you nasty turquoise narwhal, shouted Reginald as he trapped the beast in a special no-harm cage made special for this trip. Laszlo's goons brandished their cutlasses at the lady and the tusked mammal. Now you must choose, he cried. Your precious turquoise narwhal, or your true love, who is also my fiancé. You know I cannot abandon my office, Cornelia chided. You know I am the top diplomat in the Tri-County area. Reginald palmed his face. Alas, why must I be in love with the Toastmaster General? Their weekend was a tumult of sweet nothings, swooning, spooning, and horse-drawn carriage rides in good weather. Reginald had told her many times why he must hunt the turquoise narwhal, his deathbed promise to his father, and the family honor at stake. But what if you didn't, she offered. If you cannot stand him, then why did you betroth him, remarked Reginald. Camilla rejoined, Betrothal is a complicated social construct these days, and it would take a long time to explain.
Stirring. These are big flat rocks. Couldn't you have made the bed out of something else?
They're the softest rocks I could find.
At least there's a little moss on them.
There would be more. but it tastes good and makes good earplugs. Possibly, but not necessarily in that order.
Do you catch much with that?
Ah, don't call him that. He doesn't like it. His name is Carl. Carl the Rat Trap.
Hi, Carl.
Carl won't likely say much until he knows you better.
What are all these scribbles?
My Neo-Utilitarian Manifesto.
The needs of the many may outweigh the needs of the few, but do the few needs of the many outweigh the many needs of the few? The needs of the few sometimes outweigh the needs of the many, but the weight of the many outweighs the weight of the few. Many of the many wait for the few, but a few of the few do not wait for the many. The few are in the way of the many, and the many in the way of the few. Many of the many make the many more, while a few of the few make the few fewer. A few of the many are the few. Too few few, or the other way around. Footwear is the enemy of compassion. Souls do not promote souls. Government should be humble, like a good cheese. The best way to choose leadership is by random lot. The best way to assign blame is the same. Idle hands make light work. Cast off your chains and replace them with shackles. Teaching a man to fish is less useful if he lives in a cave without fish. The rock is the foot of the stage. The foot is the stage of the philosopher. Recipe for no bowl rock soup. Put rock in mouth. Swallow saliva. The largest population which can be governed harmoniously is one, and even then, only sometimes. The time for action is now, unless you're trapped at the bottom of a cave. Free will is an illusion, especially when you're trapped at the bottom of a cave. If a man is trapped at the bottom of a cave and he screams, does he hear himself? I wish the neighbors would quiet down. Note to self. Stalactite has a C for ceiling, stalagmite has a G for ground. I hope rocks cannot feel pain. How have you been writing this without a lamp?
I haven't. This is all from my first 3 days down here.
It's very impressive, in a creepy, frightening sort of way.
Thanks. I'm in talks with publishers.
I found these notes in the caves. Did you write them?
I can't take credit for the work of the magnificent Anne Anson. Those are from At the End of the Plank.
It says, warning, it's a long way... Ow! Oh! Oh!
Ow!
Oh! Ow!
Oh, there you are. I got to thinking I'd imagined you when you fell in here before. And then I imagined you disappeared. Imagine that. I've really got to stop eating the green beetles.